How's it going, guys? King of the fourth quarter here, and I'm back with some more of our Minnesota Timberwolves MyGM mode. In this episode, we're going against the Indiana Pacers. They're actually the #1 team in the East, and we're the #1 team in the West. So it's a potential finals matchup. So I was like, you know what? Let's play this one. So going into this game, for the past week or so, I'd say I've been playing around with sliders. Because if you watched the last episode or a couple episodes ago, I admitted to you guys that even on Hall of Fame simulation, I have trouble losing in this game. It's not that I'm great. It's just that for some reason, the highest difficulty isn't enough. So I've been playing around with some sliders. I went to operationsports.com. If you don't know what that is, it's a forum where people post realistic sliders, realistic roster updates and things like that. People are really nice on there, and I found a couple sliders that I've been toying around with, and I found this one that actually made it harder for me to win. You see right now it's already 13-4 and I'm losing. So I think this is a little more realistic. You guys will actually see more losses coming from me, which is, I think, is better. Nobody wants to see a team be perfect. Right now we're sitting at like 31-11, if I'm not mistaken, something around there. So I was like, you know what? We need to lose more games just to make it a little more realistic. Right there, Karl Anthony Towns expanding his range. One of you guys asked me, like, shoot more threes with Karl Anthony Towns. So I was like, you know what? Pull up right there. Wouldn't hurt because we were already down by like 10. So I was like, you know what? Why not? And that's actually not his only three of the game. Right here, a good on-ball steal by Zach LaVine, and he's throwing down that dunk. His dunk tendencies are a lot higher now. Last year, I complained about him not dunking enough for being a dunk contest champion. He wasn't throwing down dunks that I thought he should be, but this year his tendencies are a little higher, so he's throwing it down. And before we get even further into the gameplay, I want to warn you guys before it actually happens. You'll see in this video that a lot of these clips that are in this video are from the first 3 quarters. That's because in the fourth quarter, things kind of got screwed up. If you don't know, I use the Elgato HD 60 to record my gameplays. It's supposedly one of the best things on the market to record gameplays, but it actually messed up on me. You'll see once we get in the fourth quarter what I mean. A lot of the clips don't look as great as they do right here. They're not as clear. They're kind of jittery. So I want to tell you guys that now before we get further into it, so you won't be in the comments complaining about it. I've actually had this problem a while back when I first got my Elgato, and the day I recorded this episode, I had actually updated it to the newest version, so maybe that was the problem. I'm not too sure yet. But right there, Karl Anthony Towns knocking down his second 3 of the game. That's 2 more that I shot with him all of last year. Last year, I did not personally shoot any threes with him. When we simulated games, he knocked some down, but with me, that was the first 2 I shot, and he's 2 for 2. So I'm going to have to do more of that in the future. Right here, Eric Wood's going to get in at the wing. The young guy has been balling lately. You see, he's playing even with the injury, but he's throwing that down on 2 people. The guy's just a beast, and I'm so glad we kept him in our starting lineup. Right here, they do something that a lot of teams don't do. They just turn it over blatantly, and we get that dunk. Even with these new sliders, they did make a lot of shots. I was like, whoa, that shouldn't have went in. I think this is an example of it right here. We're playing some really good defense. Tyus Jones on ball with, I think this is Joe Joseph, or Joseph Young is his name actually. And he pulls up with a hand in his face and he knocks it down. I was like, whoa, that's not something I expected. So maybe that's something we got to tweak. Maybe their 3-point slider is just a little higher than it should be. But like I said, I'm still toying around with it, trying to find the perfect one where I feel like I have the possibility to win, but it's not too easy. And right now, that's actually working pretty well. So right here on defense, we failed to get back. They make that one more pass, and of course, Monte Ellis, one of the best finishers in the game, are going to finish that fast break. So we're down by 10, but we're playing some solid defense. We're picking them off, getting some steals. Right here, of course, we always run our plays, so we're going to do it. Wiggins, all alone, getting that acrobatic finish. If you didn't know, he has acrobat. So a lot of the times when I go up with him, I'm double tapping X or pulling back on the analog stick a couple times, just because I know if he alters his shot, he still has a pretty high possibility of it going in. Right here, we ISO with Zach LaVine. He had George Hill on him, and I think George Hill can't guard him. So I was like, you know what, let's ISO him. So we're still down by 10 when Zach LaVine pulls that 3. Dropping it down to 7. So it's late in the third quarter, but no matter what we did, it seems like they were always there with a nice counteract. Right here, we're going to throw the oop up. You guys know that's one of our gameplays. That's one of our styles. But this year, it's been a lot more difficult. I'm not sure why, but last year we had so many fast break points. We led the league. But this year, we aren't too great at it. Maybe I got to adjust some things around again. But right there, we get a nice pull-up 3 by Wiggins, and now we're only down by 5. So going into this fourth quarter, we may actually still have a chance. It didn't seem like it a little while ago, but we may have it right here. Ben McLemore making a guy fall and still throwing it down. The guy's a beast off the bench. I think we have one of the deepest benches in the game. And because of that, of course, people get annoyed with their playing time. But you know what? They got to suck it up if they want to win another championship. So right here in the fourth quarter, you actually see what I talked about earlier with some of the gameplay getting a little jittery. So you're not going to see many clips of it. But we tried our best to make a comeback right there. Monte Ellis doing a nice floater on the fast break. The floater is an unstoppable thing in real life and in the game. Because if you can get it high enough and you can perfect that arc, it is impossible to block. And I think Steph Curry is one of the guys that actually figured that out. And right here, we're down by 7. They're going to miss that layup. We kind of got lazy on defense. And we're going to throw it up to Zach LaVine. Slam dunk champion, of course, throwing it down. So look at the score right now. Things have changed dramatically, and we're down by 9. But of course, we have the slash bros. You haven't seen many clips from Jimmy Butler in this game because he was kind of silent. But Wiggins taking his part. He just got that big payday last episode. Speaking of Jimmy Butler, that is a big 3, knocking it down, tying the game. See how things have just swung. We went on a 10-0 run, and that's big when it comes down to the fourth quarter. And now you can actually see how things are kind of jittery on the screen. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully for the next episode, things will be a little better. But it's the fourth quarter. I had to add these clips in because if I didn't, you wouldn't know who won or not. So here we go. Tie game. We're going to throw that to Jimmy Butler, who's going to throw it down. That's a big bucket with a couple minutes left. So we're up by 2 with a minute and a half to go. Jimmy's going to give it up to our captain, who throws up the 3. He misses. They get the board. So now we got to get back on D. He runs into the guy and gets the steal and a finish on the other end. That's a big bucket, up by 4. Now up by 2. Jimmy's going to shoot that 3. No good. And they actually have a chance to tie it up. So we got to play some really good defense right here. We're trying to stop Paul George, who hasn't really been a factor too much. And look at that block. Karl Anthony Towns with a big one. So now we have 40 seconds to just play some good defense. We got the stop, and we're going to throw it up to Wiggins. And that's actually going to seal the game. That's pretty big. We got the win with the new sliders, even though we just turned the ball over there. We got the win with the new sliders. Maybe I should update it again because we actually had a nice little run, and maybe that's a little unrealistic. Went on like a 12-0 run when it came to getting that comeback. But here we go, running out the time. They're going to foul Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's one of our best free throw shooters. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, as always, be sure to leave it a like. It's the King of the Fourth Quarter. Thanks so much for watching.